sunny Norfolk, Massachusetts. I'm William Nineveh,
And I'm Patrick Quinn, and we are the
Big Boss Man. Hey Patrick, I'm real excited to have our guest today, David Pallotta. He's got to be one of the most positive people that I know out there.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, David, you've been in the industry for how long now?
Been here a long time, since 1975 we started.
Wow, we're going back to the Wild West days, David.
Yeah, back then there was only 3 companies.
Oh, really? So three companies in the industry. That must have been like everyone was just pioneers in this industry, kind of getting all new techniques and things going.
Even the technology of personal protection equipment, like you were telling me earlier, that people used to use rain suits.
Just rain gear and regular boots.
And like, what about respirators?
Very few respirators. Respirators were usually forced air. You know, you were air with hoses. If you were doing like a xylene tank or a gasoline tank, you had hoses.
So like level B, what we would consider level B now was pretty much the standard if you had to have supplied air.
Yes.
And what about like in an oil tank? There was nothing? Was there ventilation? Like did you guys set up blowers and stuff?
Yeah, we'd send up blowers, but you know, a lot of the jobs we used to do were, tanks, and you'd go down on rope ladders half the time because you couldn't get in. They were in buildings where you couldn't.
No tripods.
Yeah,
Wow.
you couldn't.
Health and
no
safety
tripods.
has really changed over the years. About 44 years later.
That and paperwork has changed a lot.
A lot more forms to fill out.
A lot more forms to fill out.
Even a lot of stuff's going electronically these days. Even the driver logs and electronic log books.
E-manifest, all that stuff.
The way it's going, thank God I'm ready to get out of the industry.
You're not about to retire on guy.
Yeah, but we're glad you're around here, David. You're kind of mentoring some of the upcoming environmental staff out that work here at Trident, and it's real good to have you around and keeping such a positive attitude.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoy it. Sometimes I go home and go, honey, I babysat all day. It's great.
So some of the things that you're doing here at Trident, I know that you pretty much run all of our equipment. You have the ability to pretty much run anything you can, and
you've been really big on the ER side of things. One of the most positive things about David that we always joke about is that you can call him at 2-3 o'clock in the morning and he'll answer the phone with a smile.
I think David actually sleeps with a smile.
Yeah, I do. It's because I've been married for 40 years.
Oh wow.
That's a good one. But you've been involved in some pretty funny projects. Like, are there any without giving too many details? Are there any funny stories that we could talk about? Like we were telling earlier, we were joking about a sewage issue you had out in Boston, 40 years ago or something.
A major valve let go, and it filled their whole building, which was like 4 stories deep. And we get there because at the time we had a big 10-inch hydraulic pump.
Is that filled with hydraulic fluids? Or?
No, it was filled with raw sewage.
Oh, that's just beautiful.
How big was this? How big was this pipe?
The pipe that broke was probably a 26-inch pipe, 30-inch pipe.
And it was under pressure.
Under pressure.
Oh, that's just beautiful.
So it flooded the whole place. And when we got there, they just said, hook the pump up and start pumping. All of a sudden, the scuba divers show up. And we're like, what are these guys doing? And all of a sudden, they just jump right into the sewage. And you're going, what the heck are these guys doing? And they dive down and they found the problem and they shut it off so that we could pump it down, and then they fixed it. But if you saw these guys jump in there, they should have got hazardous pay.
So we've been on septic type releases recently, David, and I didn't know you had so much experience going back 40 years
with sewage.
With sewage. It's just unbelievable.
It doesn't bother me.
I was wondering why you were smiling that night all night.
I have no problems with the smell things.
Oh, okay.
You know.
Yep.
That's a funny job. And then we did a spill one time in South Boston. It was a big major spill at the time.
Yep.
And everything was under the piers. And we ended up going and getting a bunch of plastic little dinghies and would give everybody that was on them a little trash pump. I mean, little, real small trash pumps.
Okay.
And you'd use the trash pumps to spray the pilings off, and you'd use it for your motor. To
Just to propel yourself
propel
around.
yourself around. So, you know, if you wanted to see something funny, you know, today, you know, they'd probably
Kick you off the
kick
job.
you off the job.
That's like one of the first jet boats, probably.
That's basically.
You guys pioneered the design.
That's basically what it was too. But still a pretty fun job. You know, it's always been a fun industry. You know, you never know what you're going to run into. You know, as far as Trident, a lot of the guys with Trident have been here a long time. There's a lot of good guys that work here, and you know, it's been fun.
As one of our leaders, we really appreciate your positive attitude and keeping everyone upbeat here, David.
Thank you.
So that's great to hear all these old stories, David, and really appreciate you coming on the show today.
Yeah, it's been a lot. These stories are great. I think we should have you on again sometime.
I think it'll be good.
It has some last. But
Hey, yeah,
for your
one
first
thing,
time.
we're both excited about this.
Yeah.
We have these new Big Boss Man t-shirts that we had made, and they
Yeah,
have
show
our
the
little logo guy.
from our gym.
Yeah, we're real
Yeah.
excited about that, to give you a t-shirt for coming on.
And
Was really your incentive, David.
And I appreciate that. And you know, that's the one room I've never been in this building is the gym.
So until next time, guys, we'll talk to you soon.